Okay, Pastor Daniel, we've said a lot, and I kind of I'm thinking about the person who's watching this and interacting with it for the first time. There are some things that here on set, I think we are already aware of.
Okay.
But in our prior discussions, we have gone back to the book of Daniel.
Yes.
And we have been able to show people, for example, why you're saying there are certain things that must happen. Is it possible for you to just give us a short sneak peek for that, just so that they can have some understanding for why you're saying what you're saying right now?
According to the book of Daniel?
According to the book of Daniel.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's another reason why I believe in the pre-trib.
Okay.
The other reason is found in the book of Daniel. That is Daniel. I wish we could read that. Yeah. That is Daniel 9 from verse 20 to verse 27. So if you are listening, your viewers, if they are listening to us, I would ask them to take calculators.
Yes, at this point.
Yeah, at this point, we will do some calculations.
So Ranji, maybe you can read and I will open my calculator.
Yes.
Yeah.
Daniel 9 from verse 20. Are you ready?
Yeah, my calculator is open.
Okay, so this there's a subtopic there in my Bible and KJV, the 70 weeks prophecy.
Okay. Yes, you remember what happened? Daniel understood by books that the captivity of the Jews should be coming to the end because he read the prophecy of Jeremiah. So he started praying because he realized, 70 years have ended. We should be free. So he started seeking God for the freedom of the Jews in chapter 9. Yes.
So
and
Daniel,
that's something people should do. Prophecy should always lead you to prayer. Always.
Amazing.
That's the reason for prophecy. Is that it should lead you to prayer.
Wow.
So Daniel 9 from verse 20. Now while I was speaking, praying and confessing my sin and the sin of my people Israel, and presenting my supplication before the Lord my God for the holy mountain of my God. Yes, while I was speaking in prayer, the man Gabriel, whom I had seen in the vision at the beginning, being caused to fly swiftly, reached me about the time of the evening offering. And he informed me and talked with me and said, O Daniel, I have now come forth to give you skill to understand. At the beginning of your supplications, the command went out, and I have come to tell you, for you are greatly beloved. Therefore, consider the matter and understand the vision.
So Gabriel has come to give what? Skill to understand.
Yeah.
So whatever he was praying about now,
he's being given now the skill to understand.
To understand.
So verse 24, 70 weeks are determined for your people and for your holy city.
70 what? Weeks are what?
Are determined.
By who?
God.
By God, of course. So it means 70 weeks are determined by God for who? Your people. Who are those? Jews.
Yes.
And your holy city. Which city is that? Jerusalem. Is it true? 70 what?
70 weeks. To finish the transgression, to make an end of sins, to make reconciliation for iniquity, to bring in everlasting righteousness, to seal up vision and prophecy, and to anoint the most holy.
Oh, those are many things that should happen within that 70 weeks.
Correct.
But I want to measure with to finish iniquity. Because it means, and we are dealing with what? Jews.
Important to remember.
And at this point in 2023, we know that Jews have not accepted Jesus as a nation.
That's true.
Is it true?
That's true.
So if the iniquities, 70 weeks are determined to finish the iniquity, it means then there's some work to be done still. Right. I want you to keep that in mind because the iniquity is not finished yet.
Yes.
I want you to keep that in mind.
Makes sense.
Because the iniquity is not finished. Because for iniquity to be finished, the Jews have to accept that Jesus is the Messiah.
Amen.
Because there is no other way God has given for salvation.
Yes.
And that has not happened.
It hasn't.
It means that 70 week is still somewhere.
Okay.
We will find out where it is.
Okay.
Let us see.
Okay.
To seal up the vision and prophecy and to anoint the most holy. Verse 25. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the command.
Oh, those who are listening to us now, I want you now. That's where this is where I told you to remove your calculator.
Okay.
Because from the going forth of the commandment,
from the going forth of the command to restore and build Jerusalem.
Did you hear exact by who?
God.
By God, of course. So it means 70 weeks are determined by God for who? Your people. Who are those? Jews.
Yes.
And your holy city. Which city is that? Jerusalem. Is it true?
Yeah.
70 what?
70 weeks.
Yes.
To finish the transgression, to make an end of sins, to make reconciliation for iniquity, to bring in everlasting righteousness, to seal up vision and prophecy, and to anoint the most holy.
Oh, those are many things that should happen within that 70 weeks.
Correct.
But I want to measure with to finish iniquity.
Okay.
Because it means, and we are dealing with what? Jews.
Important to remember.
And at this point in 2023, we know that Jews have not accepted Jesus
yes.
as a nation.
That's true.
Is it true?
That's true.
So if the iniquities, 70 weeks are determined to finish the iniquity, it means then there is some work to be done still.
Correct.
All right.
That
I want you to keep that in mind because the iniquity is not finished yet.
Yes.
I want you to keep that in mind.
Makes sense.
Because the iniquity is not finished. Because for iniquity to be finished, the Jews have to accept that Jesus is the Messiah.
Amen.
Because there is no other way God has given for salvation.
Yes.
And that has not happened.
It hasn't.
It means that 70 week is still somewhere.
Okay.
We will find out where it is.
Okay.
Let us see.
To seal up the vision and prophecy and to anoint the most holy. Verse 25. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the command.
Oh, those who are listening to us now, I want you now. That's where this is where I told you to remove your calculator.
Okay.
Because from the going forth of the commandment,
from the going forth of the command to restore and build Jerusalem.
Did you hear exactly what is it? Yeah. To restore and do what? Rebuild Jerusalem.
Yes.
Until Messiah the Prince, there shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks.
Did you notice he separated them? Yes. There shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks.
So what are these weeks you're talking about?
Those are how many weeks?
69.
7
69,
weeks.
69 in total.
Yes.
From what? From the commandment to
yes.
the Messiah. There shall be 69 weeks.
Okay.
But he separated them 7 and 62. I will tell you why.
Yeah.
But Pastor Ranji has asked a question.
We're talking about 70 weeks.
What are these weeks?
Sisi tunajua weeks ni 7 days.
Now, remember, I gave you a secret about the book of Revelation.
Yes.
It comes with its own what?
Outline.
Yes. The second secret to understand the book of Revelation is this. 3/4 of the symbols in that book are found in the Old Testament.
Wow.
That's the second key to that book.
3/4 of the
symbols
in the book of Revelation
are found in the Old Testament. For example, when you talk about weeks, the first time we read about weeks was in the story of Jacob and Laban and Leah and Rachel. So Jacob has worked for Rachel for how many years? 7 years. Is it true?
7 years.
Laban gives him Leah. Then in the morning, he realizes, you gave me Leah. Then Laban tells him, hey, it's not our custom to marry the younger before the older.
Yeah.
Then he says, fulfill her week also.
Wow.
Fulfill her week also. And now it records and says, and Jacob worked for Rachel for another 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So week.
That's in Genesis 29.
29, yes.
Read from verse 26.
Yes.
And Laban said, it must not be so done in our country,
Yes.
to give the younger before the firstborn.
Yes.
Fulfill her week, and we will give you this also for the service which you shall serve with me yet 7 other years.
Yes. So you see, he says week, 7 years.
Yes.
So what is happening? The word week in Hebrew does not deal with 7 days,
like we know now.
7 years.
Yeah.
Week means a bunch of 7.
Like a set of 7.
A set of 7.
Okay.
So week means 7. It could be anything. This is a week of mangoes.
Okay.
It's 7 set of mangoes.
Okay.
You understand?
Set of sevens.
You don't automatically
I think
go to days.
Days or years.
You see, English goes directly to
Yeah.
Hebrew
7
is
days.
set. That's why now here he says fulfill her week.
Yes.
But he was talking a week of what?
Of years.
Years.
Correct. I get
Now,
it.
in our story in Daniel, was it a week of days, months, or years?
Pastor Ranji, tell us.
It could not have been days.
Yes.
Because days that would have been what? 49 days.
49 days.
They've been there forever.
They've rebuilt the city, the Messiah has come.
Yes,
Yeah.
So
and
it doesn't
that
make
did not
sense.
happen.
Yeah. We had 69. I think
Then?
I calculated. Yeah.
So it has to
To
be
be
years.
years. It had to be years.
Exactly.
So when we're talking about 70 weeks, if you can go back to Daniel 9,
Yes.
where it says from verse 24,
Yes.
Daniel 9:24, 70 weeks are determined for your people
Yes.
and for your holy city.
Yes.
So this is 70 weeks of
Years.
Exactly.
So that's 70 times 7.
7.
490.
Correct.
Yes.
I don't need my calculator, Claire. No, it's
Oh,
okay.
math,
Keep
hapa ni
going.
wapi? For 90 years.
Okay, got you.
So
He's ahead of your
Daniel
calculator.
Clearly, yes.
It's because I'm excited
I
about it.
see. Let's do it.
70 weeks
Yes.
are determined
Yes.
for your people. So you could say 490
90
years
Yes.
are
are
determined
determined.
for your people and for
Yes.
your holy city.
Yes.
To finish the transgression. So what he's saying is, within these 490 years,
This will
is what
happen.
will have
Yes.
been accomplished.
Yes.
To finish the transgression.
Yes.
To make an end of sins.
Yes.
And he's talking about the Jews.
Yes.
To bring in everlasting righteousness.
Yes.
To
For the
seal
Jews.
up- for the Jews. We're talking about the Jews.
Yes.
To seal up vision and prophecy.
Yes.
And to anoint the most holy.
Holy.
Wow.
Yes.
Jews they've not even received Christ.
Yes.
They don't believe in the first
Yes.
coming. Uh-huh.
But within 490,
They
it
will
will
have
happen.
done so.
Okay.
It will happen.
So we are somewhere in these 490 years.
Yes.
Is what we are saying.
But now,
Mhm.
the first he tells us, there is something he mentioned. He
Yes.
says, from the going forth of the commandment
Correct.
to the Messiah, it shall be 7 and 62
Yeah,
weeks.
I was coming
Yes,
there.
yes.
So it says, no, therefore, understand that from the going forth of the command, that's from verse 25, Daniel 9:25, from the going forth of the command to restore and build Jerusalem.
And I would like you to notice, Faith and Pastor Ranji,
Yeah.
note please, the commandment is to restore,
And build
build.
Jerusalem.
Do you know why I insist on that? Because if you don't take that small statement, it will throw you off, because there are other commandments that came forth, but none was for Jerusalem. All of them were connected to the temple.
Correct.
Cyrus
Yes.
gave a commandment. He was the first one.
Yes.
Is it true?
Yes, that's true.
But he gave it to Ezra to rebuild the temple. Darius was also gave a commandment to rebuild the temple. All the other previous commandments that came forth were connected with the temple.
Correct.
But here is clearly Jerusalem.
Jerusalem.
Wow.
And from the scripture, the person who was given the clear commandment to go and rebuild the walls of Jerusalem and the city was Nehemiah.
Wow.
So if you want to
Calculate, you can't go to Cyrus,
you have to start with
you can't go to Darius,
Yes.
you have to come to King Ahasuerus, alikuwa anaitwa Artaxerxes.
Oh,
Hey, taxes.
yeah, that name, that one.
Taxes,
We'll
yes.
put it in the
Amen.
lower third. For you, you can
Yes,
try and
yes.
pronounce.
Who gave commandment, and it is a taxis 1. He gave
Meaning there
command.
was two.
There was a taxis 2.
Okay.
So a taxis 1 is the one who gave
The
the
commandment,
commandment
yes.
to go and rebuild
Jerusalem.
and
city.
facilitated it.
Wow, that's also important.
Yes, facilitated it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So to calculate this 490 years,
You
you
have
have to
to
start
begin
from there.
With Nehemiah.
with Nehemiah.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
So it says that from the going forth of the command to restore and build Jerusalem until the Messiah, the Prince, there shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks.
Why did he separate them? Do you know why he separated them?
No.
7 weeks and 62.
No.
Because it took 49 years. 49 years to rebuild that city.
49 years, which is the equivalent of 7 weeks.
7
Yes,
weeks.
Exactly.
Because of what? Because
Yeah.
he said that city shall rebuild in a dangerous time of persecution and trouble.
Wow.
Perilous time. So it took long.
Wow.
49 years.
That's how long it took Nehemiah to rebuild
The city.
Jerusalem.
The
Yes.
wall took 52 days. The city.
49
49
years.
years.
So that's that first
So
7.
that's 7
Yes.
weeks. So
Okay.
this 7 weeks is part of the 70 weeks. we are
Yes,
talking
it's
about.
part.
Okay.
It's
So now
part.
we've begun.
Yes,
So
we have
Nehemiah's
begun.
been given the command.
Yes.
We begin with 7 weeks. Then 62 weeks. What's up with these 62 weeks?
62 weeks now is after the city has been rebuilt.
Okay.
Now you continue until
That's
the Messiah.
Okay.
But now when you're calculating, you have to join the 7 week and the 62 to make 69. They just
70.
separated. God is so meticulous
Yeah.
in details. He
Wow.
wanted to separate that. This period was the rebuilding. Then the rebuildings is completed. You know why?
Yeah.
So that you can go back to history
Wow.
and trace it. You can Google it.
Yeah.
It's there.
Wow. I love it because that shows me Aki God is for us. He really wants us to get this thing.
Yes.
Like it's not cryptic the way I was saying in the beginning.
Yeah.
He actually wants us to understand and see these things are there. If
They're
you really
there.
want
Giving
to
us the
know,
information.
you can
Yeah.
find it.
Now the amazing thing is, did you notice? If you calculate 69 times 7, it's what?
It comes to 483 according to my calculation.
But how many weeks are determined?
490.
For 90
Yeah.
years. Is it
Yes,
true?
exactly.
So it means there is a 7-year period
Missing.
that is missing.
Yes.
In another way,
Yeah.
we from the time Nehemiah is given the command,
Yeah.
we have the first 7 weeks.
Yes.
For the rebuilding of the city.
Yes.
Then another 62 weeks.
Yes.
So the 62 come to the Messiah. To
Yes.
the time of the Messiah.
Yes.
Yes.
So 62 plus 7, that's 69
Yes.
weeks.
Yes.
So we
But
have
you are dealing
one-
with 70.
70.
Yes.
So there's a week.
That is
A
missing.
set of
That is
7.
missing, yeah.
Yes.
We will come to it.
Yes.
So that week is what we are now calling.
We will come to it.
So you said the 62 is up to
The Messiah.
the Messiah coming.
Guess what
This is
happened?
the first
Uh-huh.
coming of Jesus Christ.
Jesus
We are
Christ.
talking
Yeah.
about the Messiah.
Yeah.
But there's something he said about the Messiah.
To restore and build Jerusalem until the Messiah, the Prince, there shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall, even in troublesome times.
Yeah, 49 years.
Verse 26. And after the 62 weeks, Messiah shall be cut off, but not for himself.
Oh, so the Messiah shall come,
Yes.
but after the 62 weeks,
He shall be cut off.
remember it's the 62 weeks there,
Yes.
because the 7 weeks have
Have already
gone.
passed.
Yes.
Yes.
Now we are in the
So the
62 weeks.
7 weeks, the temple has been rebuilt. 62 weeks, the Messiah.
Because you see what God does, He gives you pillars. So these 7 weeks, look for the rebuilding.
Yeah.
These 62, wait for the Messiah.
Wow.
He gives you the picture for who to look for.
Yes.
In the 62, we are looking for the Messiah.
Yes.
Guess what happened?
Tell us.
Since the commandment going forth
Yes.
to the Messiah is 69. Is it true?
Correct.
69.
Yes. Agreed.
But they are separated in 7 and 62.
Correct.
But it's 69. Is it true?
Yes.
Now, I want you to take your calculator.
Okay.
Yes. Now, calculate for me 69. Remember, they are using Jewish year
Correct.
and months.
Yes.
The Jewish year has 360 days,
Okay.
not the Gregorian calendar.
Okay.
The Jewish
Gregorian is the one.
we
365.
use, yes.
Yes.
The Jews is 360 days.
Okay.
If if you calculate times
69
360
times 360. Wow, it's a big number.
is what?
24,000
times what?
360 times 69
is 69. Remember, is weeks.
Yes.
So you have to times with 7.
So first the 69 times 7.
Oh, so the math here is 69 times 7
Yes.
times 360.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. So we get 173,000.
Yes.
880.
All right. Days.
Okay, these are days now.
Those are days.
Okay.
Because you have multiplied with 360 days
Correct.
per year.
Makes sense.
Is it true?
We are with you.
So now, imagine you are standing the day Nehemiah was given the commandment.
Okay.
If you calculate 170,
3,880 days.
it means you can actually land on a specific day.
For a specific event.
For a specific event.
Oh my goodness.
And on that day, you must meet the Messiah.
Oh my goodness.
According to the prophecy.
Yes.
Did it happen that way?
Did it happen that way?
Tell us.
Yes, it did. Wow. Guess what was happening? The 173, 800 days.
Yes.
Do you know what was happening?
Tell us, Pastor.
Jesus was coming on the road to Jerusalem.
Yes.
And they were laying their palm.
The triumphal
Triumphal entry. Wow.
Guess what Jesus said when he entered Jerusalem?
What did he say?
Jesus wept twice at the tomb of Lazarus and when he was entering Jerusalem. What did he say? Oh, Jerusalem, I wish you had known the day of your visitation.
Imagine. They missed
Do you know what he was telling them? You don't understand your own prophecies.
Oh my goodness. That is the
Which
saddest
means that it is so accurate that, that prophecy is so accurate that those people who fight with God,
yes,
they don't like dealing with it because it is so accurate, including in history. What? Palm Sunday falls exactly on that day.
Oh my goodness.
The Messiah shall come. Palm Sunday. And he wept and told them, I wish you had known
the hour of your visitation.
The hour of your visitation.
Oh my goodness.
He had come. I had desired to gather you as chicks, but I cannot now.
Oh my.
Do you know why? Because that same week, they killed him.
They crucified
He was cut off.
He was cut off. The same week, he was cut off. And that's what prophecy said. After 62 weeks, he shall be cut off.
That's why we got the slang of cutting off people from your life. They killed him. That's after 62 weeks.
Yes, he shall be cut off. And he was.
Yeah.
But not for himself.
Yes.
And we know Jesus didn't die because of his sins.
Imagine.
He died for our sins.
That's amazing.
Wow.
So
we are left with that one.
So remember, there is
that
1 week remaining.
Yes.
Because 17 weeks
missing.
are remaining.
Exactly.
Now, what happened when the Jews cut off Jesus?
Yes.
Guess what happened?
What happened?
God decided, okay, I've had it with the Jews. What I'm going to do, now I will work with an entirely new entity. And guess what that led to? The birth of the church. For the inclusion
this is crazy.
of the Gentiles.
Wow.
If the Jews had accepted Jesus, the Gentiles would not have received salvation.
The 70 weeks would have been continuous.
Would have been continuous.
Oh my goodness.
And that was for Jews only.
And that was for Jews only.
Wait, what would have happened to us?
Yes, but you see, God is wise.
He's merciful.
And merciful.
Wow.
So, guess what?
Sorry.
Yeah.
After the 62 weeks now, this all 69 weeks.
Yes.
The church ages now begin.
Yes.
Remember what happened?
Yes.
You remember what happened during that week? They said, away with this man.
Yes.
Crucify him. Oh. When they said, away with this man, crucify him, they rejected him. God turned to the Gentiles.
So our timeline began.
Our timeline began.
That's where the Bible says
when
grafted.
Yes.
On the olive tree.
Wow.
We were wild branches, but we were grafted on the olive tree. Our time began, and the time of the Jews was suspended, was paused.
Wow. That is super amazing.
Did you understand
I
that?
Just
get
imagine
it.
Jesus saying, cooler pose.
You just wait there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So
now,
yeah.
but you realize we have not finished with that,
Mm-hmm.
the end of that prophecy.
Yes.
Yeah, because he said the Messiah
Because
shall
now
be-
he goes ahead to tell us what will happen now
Yeah.
on the other 1 week.
Okay.
What we should
within this
expect.
scripture?
Yes.
Okay. So do we then just
continue?
have him read that and we close
Yes.
with that?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, verse 26, and after the 62 weeks, Messiah shall be cut off, but not for himself, and the people of the prince who is to come.
So there is a people of the prince who is to come. A prince who is to come.
Shall destroy the city and the sanctuary.
They shall destroy the temple and Jerusalem. Okay.
And the end of it shall be with a flood. Until the end of the war, desolations are determined. Then he shall confirm a covenant with many for 1 week.
There is the 1 week.
It's showing up.
So the prince who is coming shall make a covenant with many.
So there's a prince that's coming.
Yes.
And this prince is, who are we talking about?
He's not Jesus.
He's not Jesus.
He's the
clearly-
Antichrist. So he will make a covenant with many for 1 week. And how many weeks have remained for the Jews?
1 week.
Which means during tribulation, the main character
Jesus.
from the kingdom of God shall be the Jews. The time of the Gentiles will have ended. That is why if you are a Gentile and you are not born again, that means you are not in heaven after rapture. You will get to heaven without your head because your time ended. It's Jewish time now.
Wow.
What?
The passport to heaven that time will be your head. Yes.
What? Yeah, and so which is why I said when I began, the time is now. The time to give your life to Christ is now. And we're not selling fear.
No.
If anything, what we are doing here is selling hope.
Hope.
Yeah, we're selling hope. Because,
so that you make the right decision.
Correct.
Now.
I love it. So I think let's let that sit there for now. And then when we come back, we will pick it up from where we have left it off and carry the story forward.
Amen.
Please keep watching. You do not want to miss what comes next.